Hello again and welcome to another Michigan Military Technical and Historical Society Museum vehicle restoration video. Just going to do a quick follow-on to the video I posted earlier this week. Been able to get out here for a couple of days and get some work done, and just kind of show you where we're at. The wind is blowing really, it's really crazy here. So if you hear a bunch of noises in the background, it's the roof vent is just going crazy up there, and so if you're hearing something in the background, it's the wind. And the lights keep flickering, so hopefully they stay on until I get this video shot, and I'm going to go in the house and wait out whatever this crazy windstorm is. But so we'll start up here. You see, I started to make a windshield frame. I admit, one of my great failings in life is the tubing bender, and I'm not at all happy with this, so I might have to call in a buddy of mine to help me do this so I don't end up screwing up a whole bunch of pipe. But that's kind of to give you an idea of what I'm going for. I'm going to remake this because it looks silly, and I screwed it up, and I admit it. I am not a tubing bender, and I never will be. So, but it kind of gives you a general idea of where we're going. With that, here I got these pieces of steel from the steel bin, and I started making a framework for the side, and we're going to take a closer look at the other side here in a second. You can see we got a little bit on that. You can see the driver's seat is in place. Comes out. You can get in. You can slide under. Unfortunately, my gut is a bit too big to fit behind this steering wheel. I'm gonna have to lose some weight if I want to drive this thing. These people were definitely much smaller than we were. I mean, I have a bunch of World War I uniforms at the museum. I can tell these guys were a lot smaller than we are, and I just don't fit behind this steering wheel in any kind of comfortable manner. But that's a whole nother issue. Excuse me while I stick my finger in the lens again. So I've made the driver's seat with this cover that lifts up. You can get to the gas tank and fill it. Put that back down again. At some point I will upholster this with something, but for now this is kind of where it's going to be. So you can open it up. You can get to these little storage bins I built on either side of the tank. And this is solid. I got these top bows from Lang's. These are Model T top bows. I have some of the top bow hardware. I was going to make the piece that kind of goes in here, but I'm starting to look at these and I'm thinking I might actually use this to make the back of the cab. So I've got some ideas rattling around in my head for those. So we shall see. And now we're going to kind of wander around to the other side here. You can see I began the process of making the spare tire carrier. We've got the brackets made down here on the bottom. It's going to end up with a triangular leather strap that's going to go down from down here to that bracket, and then there'll be a footman loop up here. So it'll look kind of like, if any of you are familiar with the spare tire, or not the spare tire, the gas jerry can strap that's on the back of the M151. I'm going to kind of emulate that design, and it'll be a 3-point. So I've got a bunch of leather. I ordered some leather and some buckles, and I'm going to go ahead and make the strapping for that, and we'll have the spare tire mounted. So then the other thing is, we've been kind of contemplating what I'm going to do with these cowl panels. So I have this cardboard mock-up here with some notes on it. And it's going to kind of wrap around there. It's going to tuck up in here, so this needs to be a little bit taller. But this is giving me a kind of an idea of what it's going to look like. And I don't hate it. So hopefully the next time you see this, I'm going to go see what kind of steel I have. I think I have a sheet of 22 or 20 gauge floating around up in the rafters that I might be able to use to make this. If not, I'll have to go out. I'll probably get some 12 or 14. I think this is like 12 or 14 gauge, but I think I have a sheet of like 20 gauge floating around somewhere that I'll end up using, and this will kind of give you an idea of what we're going to do. And then I figured if I'm going to make these rear fenders, then I'm going to go ahead and make this template up here, and that way when I get the plasma cutter out and set up, I can cut everything at one time, and I'm not setting up and tearing down the plasma cutter and 1,500 times. And I just come out here one day and just cut all this steel and then fabricate from there. So yeah, so that's kind of what we've been working on for the last 2 or 3 days, is getting this to this point. I'm kind of happy with this with the driver's seat. It's definitely solid, and these little, I like that my little ends came out. I like the way they came out. They look kind of like what's in the pictures, so that's where we're at. And then you can't tell from any of the pictures if they had a dash, but I'm going to go ahead and make some sort of dash just to cover all of this pitting up. So I don't know if it's going to be a piece of wood or a piece of steel. I think most of these dashboards on these were wood, so I'll probably just make a piece of wood and put it in here. I'm going to give you a place to mount the the light switch and things like that. So that'll be the next thing. But hopefully, I'm hoping that somewhere this week I will be able to come out here, spend a solid day out here, and get all of these pieces of steel cut, and then we can start fabricating those, or bending and breaking them and getting them fit into where they go. And most of the body fab will be done at that point. And then it's going to be moving on to cleaning all of this up, getting this body ready for paint, and then getting this thing running. So on that note, let's take a look over here real quick. I went upstairs and I did not realize I had this many coils. So we have coils here. We have a bunch of them, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to get 4 out of this mess that are usable, that we can rebuild and have some working coils, and then we can wire this thing up and finish the fuel system, and hopefully get this Model T running. So that'll be another project here coming up, is going through these each one of these coils and doing the resistance test on it and seeing, and then figuring out which 4 are the best candidates for rebuilding and getting this thing going. So yeah, I think I may have bought a couple of coils over the last year. Got a little carried away, I guess, but we'll see. Hopefully we can do a good one. So with that, we'll sign off, and hopefully the next time I shoot one of these videos, I'll have the cowl sides made. You can see that the rear fenders will be on it. Maybe the leather will have arrived, and I'll have the straps made for the spare tire carrier, so you can kind of get an idea how that's going to look when it's finished. And then we can start doing the final cleaning and prep work and get this thing in color. And it's going to be a huge difference. And then obviously I do something with this windshield, because it's bugging the hell out of me now that I'm standing here looking at it. So I'm going to stop looking at it, and I'm going to go in the house before the power goes out again. And so again, if you're in the Detroit area, stop by the museum. We're in East Point, 9.5 mile in Gratiot, just right there by 696 and I-94 interchange, not far from that. And if you want to help us out with these projects, visit the website mimths.org, and our PayPal, as always, is mimths@mimths.org, and help us get some of the parts we need to finish this thing. So with that, y'all have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.